What's up, everybody? My name is Kevin. You're watching Kev Car Geek. Please subscribe, like, comment. You can follow me on IG, Kev Car Geek, Facebook, Kev Car Geek Kevo. Welcome. Now today is gonna be a hot one. We are reviewing the Jeep Wrangler. Now, the Jeep Wrangler made its debut in 1987. However, its birth was back in 1941 at the start of World War II. So someone called Willis Overland won a contract with the US military to provide off-road cars, which was a huge success. In fact, when the soldiers came from war, they started demanding for this car that they were using while fighting. However, the name Jeep Wrangler was baptized to this beast back in 1987. So you have a brief history of this car, and you can see its DNA and its character, its charisma has been carried on to this very day. We are approaching the elections as a country, and it's very difficult to find a rugged road because apparently all the leaders are working day and night to build our roads. I wish this is how it was since the first year that they are elected. However, we have managed to find one very rugged road. In fact, we are supposed to go up this hill all the way. I'm not sure if we are going to go all the way because the road is very, very rugged. However, this car is very capable, and the only limiting factor that will stop us from pushing it to its limit is because it's not mine, it's someone else's. Otherwise, if it was mine, I'd push it to its very limit. We're going to be testing its off-road capability. The road is very rocky, it's up a hill, just the perfect recipe to see how capable this car actually is. With the 3.6 liter petrol engine, off-road tires, a long wheelbase, it takes a lot to challenge this car. The Wrangler also features one of the best ground clearance numbers in its class, ranging between 9.7 inches in the standard Wrangler to 10.8 inches on the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. What's up, homie? After realizing that I took the simpler angle, we decided to take a detour. Notice how the front wheel steps on that stone as if it's a piece of sponge. Feeling a little bit embarrassed with how easily the Jeep took the challenge, we decided to try the same angle, this time in reverse. Now please note that my camera may not be articulate enough to show you how steep this angle is. I have to admit, I've never driven on such off-road tires before. Now we are all the way up this hill. You can see the lake down there. We've tried to make life as difficult as we can, taking the most difficult angles with this Wrangler just to see how it handles itself. But oh man, it just took everything like a piece of cake. Give it this, takes it. Now this is an off-road beast, to say the least. Something that really helps it to be an off-road beast is the ground clearance and the 17-inch alloy wheels. And also you can see that in between the wheel and the body, there's such a huge room for the wheel to play around, especially when the car is maneuvering some difficult angles. Its four-wheel drive does such a good job. Also, it has a traction control, which just ensures that you are riding smoothly. Driving the Jeep Wrangler, the first thing that I notice is that my sitting position is very good. In fact, I am able to see very well. Now, this car makes 285 brake horsepower. It has a 3.6 liter, which is naturally aspirated. In terms of consumption, this car on average takes about 15.5 liters for every 100 kilometers. Now this is on average, and of course these figures will keep on changing depending on the terrain on which you're driving on. Now let's speak about the safety of this car. First of all, while driving this car, one needs to be very aware of what you're doing. You need to be very alert because this car is a bit wide, and while driving the road you can see that it leaves a very narrow gap between you and the yellow line, and also on the passengers, and also on the passenger's side it leaves a very little gap between the car and the white line. So one needs to be very alert when doing that. But Jeep knew about the problem, and this car is fitted with a lane departure warning. It has a camera on the passenger's side mirror, which alerts you when you are not going on a straight line. The handling is not the best, but it's good. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. A 6 because this car is very large, and also the wheelbase is very huge, so the handling cannot be that great. But for what it's worth, does a good job, and you don't really struggle even on high speeds to control this car. Is this car fun to drive? Now, fun to drive is relative. If fun to you is moving very fast and accelerating very fast, I think that is me, then this car is not fun to drive. But if also fun is you taking this car literally anywhere you want, climbing on every rock as if it's nothing, if that is fun to you, then this car is very fun to drive. And I think I fit in both of those aspects. I'm a huge fan of off-road vehicles, and I've always been a huge fan of the Land Cruiser 70 series. Now, the Land Cruiser 70 series has the Jeep Wrangler as its competitor. You also find the FJ Cruiser in the same category. The Jeep Wrangler is such a rugged car, and by rugged I mean no attention to luxury. This is not a luxurious car. It's very rugged, and that's the way it's supposed to be. If you look at it, there's no attention to aerodynamics. This is to tell you that this is not built to cruise down the road at high speeds. That is not its DNA. The car is built for practicality, durability, and its ultimate beast mode, which is off-road. Now, I want to make something clear to everyone who is watching this. This car has big cousins, and its big cousins are the Land Cruiser 70 series, the FJ Cruiser, the G-Wagon. Now, this Jeep as it is right now is how it comes from the manufacturer's point. You find that the tires and the rims and the front grille are quite different, but I'd say I'm lucky enough to find this car as it came from the manufacturer. Now, the headlights are just as they were, very old school, very nice looking. The indicators on each side, the doors and the door handles, they're just as old school as they can get. To open this door, you press this button and open the door, and to close it you have to bang the door for it to close. Otherwise, if you just do it gently, it won't close. As you can see, it hasn't closed, so you have to bang the door, which is a cool feature. Doors are attached to hinges. These hinges, that means that this door can actually open all the way and make around a 180 degrees turn, but you're not allowed to do that. And what prevents you from doing that is this this holder right here, which is also very rugged, and it's the same on all sides. There's this holder. Otherwise, this door would open all the way and make a 180 degree turn, which is very cool. Something else about this Jeep Wrangler is that this roof can come off, but because it's raining, we won't be in a position to do that. But the trunk to this Jeep is quite huge, and you access it by opening this. Again, there is a stopper right here to prevent the door from opening all the way. And there you have it. You have a lot of room in here. Under the hood to this Jeep Wrangler, you have a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated engine. It makes 285 brake horsepower and has a 6-speed transmission. Now, this Jeep Wrangler is quite heavy, and given its engine and the amount of brake horsepower it makes, it's not that good in acceleration, so it takes a little bit of time before it accelerates. I think it simply suits its purpose, because its purpose is not to accelerate so fast down the highways. Its purpose is to go where no other car can go. There is also a lower trim, which is 3.0 naturally aspirated, but this one is diesel, but both of them are V6 engines. One word to describe the interior of this car is simplicity. Everything is just so simple and straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, no focus on luxury, so you don't expect luxury features in here. Now on the passenger side, everything is also simple and clear. I like this detail right here. It says Jeep since 1941. You remember, guys, I was telling you about the World War. The World War II started in 1941, and so this car has been in existence since 1941. Now these guys went out of their way to ensure that everything that is fitted in this car works for the longest time possible. Now, something that is very unique is where you roll the windows from. Now this is where you roll the windows from either side. Also, the air conditioning system is very easy to use and very simplified using these 3 knobs. A decent assist system right here. Now, to change this car into 4-wheel drive, you have to engage the gear. Very old school, just as it's supposed to be. So what you do, you simply engage the gear to neutral mode, then you engage the 4-wheel drive. Everything else is very easy to use. The steering wheel is quite comfortable. I really like it. I like how huge the radius is and how comfortable it feels when you're driving down the road. You also have cruise control on this side. Again, I don't know how many people in this country use cruise control, but that doesn't matter. It's right here. You also have buttons to control the infotainment system on this right side. I mean, this is as far as luxury goes in this car. Now, if you compare this car to its cousins, which are the FJ Cruiser, the Land Cruiser 70 series, and the G-Wagon Mercedes-Benz, I haven't thought of any other cousin. If I do, I'll mention one. Comparing the Jeep Wrangler to the Land Cruiser 70 series, this car is definitely more luxurious. The Land Cruiser 70 series doesn't come with an infotainment system. It has such a bad music system as well. So this car is way ahead of it, but I still have a special spot in my heart for the Land Cruiser 70 series. I hope one day I'll be able to review one on my channel, or rather own one as well. I have made sure the driver's seat is all the way back and the legroom is sufficient, considering that I have pulled the seat all the way back. It's quite comfortable, and if you remove the roofing to this car, you are left with an open air. So I'd say the passengers back here are having a comfortable ride, no doubt about that. As earlier mentioned, this car is very rugged. If you look at these handles, they're just made out of cloth for utmost simplicity. You also have cup holders back here. Now you roll your windows from this point right here by either pulling it down or up.
I hope you have hit that subscribe button. We need to get 500 at least before the end of the month. You can reach out to me via comments, like my video. Thank you for watching. Adios. Deuces.